Hello.
Hi, I'm Howard.
I'm Willis.
Welcome to CastApod.
Hey, so got a fun show for you today. We're
Sorry, let me.
I was gonna say, tell me what you're doing. If it's in my hand, just tell me.
Sorry, I have the metronome. Sorry, guys. You have to go to control and metronome. There you go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
I forgot to make sure that was recording.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look like it is.
Nope.
Fine. Well, you work on that, and
Okay.
we'll wrap the show.
All right.
So we are today, just well, being Saturday. How's your week been?
Oh, my week has been great. I went and talked to my recruiter this week. No, it wasn't recording. There we go. Let's put it back on stereo. The week was great. We started. We only had a few cleans this week, and did a little bit of work with that. When I went and talked to the recruiter, that was interesting. So I found out the different benefits and what I would probably be eligible for. I'm thinking about going to the Air Force Reserve. So. Yeah, I mean it's just quite interesting. It's just quite interesting all the stuff that could possibly happen with that. So yeah. How was oh, and not to mention today is what is the date? June 7th. June 7th. And it's a Saturday, and it is absolutely gorgeous outside.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely gorgeous. I must say, like, you know, talking about the weather seems sometimes to be like, you know, like let's get started by talking about the weather. But it is absolutely gorgeous outside. Probably one of the nicest days I've seen in a long time. I put it on my Instagram. So, but yeah, how was your week?
It's been good. It's been good. It's been something as far as figuring out that I just really need time off. I've had a couple of events the last couple of weeks that kind of let me know that my body is looking for sleep. So it just, you know,
you have to explain your morning. You have to explain what happened. What happened
this
in your
morning? This morning? Okay. All right. So, oh gosh. All right.
My buddy has needed sleep. The last podcast, you needed sleep. This podcast, you got enough sleep. So.
All right. So I laid down yesterday about 5:30ish. I think I texted back a couple of people, and then I fell asleep in front of the TV, whatever. I think just YouTube was on, something like that. Excuse me. The next thing that I remember is waking up with the sun what looked to be going down. So, and I looked at my phone, and the time said, I mean, the time said 6. No. It was close to 6. A little after 6 when I actually fell asleep. I laid down about 5:30. It was probably close to 6:30 when I actually started falling asleep. And and then I look at the phone when I woke up, and it said 5:30. I was like, it's not going to be before I went to sleep. So I'm like, the sun's going down. Oh my gosh. I just slept for 24 hours. And I was just like, oh, I missed so much stuff. And I knew that I knew that I had talked about recording today. And so I was like, oh, man, I know I looked at my text, and he had responded saying, you know, that he was good to record today. And, you know, I was like, well, I just missed it. It was, it was just, that's all that it was. And I thought the rest of the day, I knew there were like 4 or 5 different things that had happened too. So I was like, what's going on? I don't know, where am I? Okay, I'm at home, but I'm on the couch still. What's happening? You know, I'm texting, and I'm like trying to figure it out, and like all the clocks around me, I don't necessarily trust my phone's date and time. I thought it was updated.
I wouldn't trust it either. Like sometimes I'm like, I set an alarm, and I think, I hope I wake up at the right time.
Yeah, and I thought I had an alarm on too. I thought I had an alarm for that evening. So if I had got the alarm or heard the alarm, I would have woken up at like 10, 11 o'clock that same night. So if I'm laying down, falling asleep about 6:30, 4 or 5 hours later, I'd be waking up, and yes, I'd be aware and doing things. So I was confused out of my mind. I was lost. I even did a what a day, like just talking about it. I was like, something's wrong.
This guy texts me, and I have to use military time for him. I'm like, it is 0530 right now.
I was like,
and he was like, no, the first thing I see,
I was like,
1600. I was
but
like,
it's 5:30. 1600 is 4 o'clock, man.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
He was off his rocker. He was totally off his rocker.
And I used military time at work too. I was like, why don't I have everything set to military time?
Yeah.
My phone would be more dependable if I
or the 24-hour clock, however you want.
Yeah. Sorry, yes, 24-hour, yes, like most of the world. So it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So that sums up my week.
Hilarity ensued with this man, and I was texting. We were texting back and forth, and I was like, "It's only 5:30 in the morning." And he was like, "I'm so sorry. We were gonna do a podcast, and I had so many plans." And I was like, "It's only 5:30 in the morning. It's 0530 right now."
Yes.
So yes,
that was my week. That was my week.
That was great, man. That's great.
So
such a good story.
Yeah. But in other news,
let's get on to what we want to talk about.
And as a follow-up to our previous episode, we actually were going to talk about it, but with iOS 8, it actually has you considering.
So WWDC 2014 started on June 2nd of this year. They had some things. I'll start off by saying previously, like last week or the week before, they said they were dropping all lawsuits with Samsung, Google. Don't quote me on that because I could be totally wrong. But they dropped all lawsuits. I'm an Android fan, very much an Android fan, and you too. Would you say that you are? So I don't want to speak for you. Through your encouragement, absolutely, I would agree. I am definitely a fan of Android. Okay, the first day, of course, with WWDC, what happens is they always do the keynote, and when they do the keynote, that's when press is allowed to come in and do things. But after the first day, the rest of the developers conference is for developers, and I have learned that. I mean, that's a great thing that they do. And it's really for developers. So gotta give it to Apple. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. So let's start talking about what they announced. The first thing that I ever saw, the screen that you're seeing right now is not the first thing I saw. This is techradar.com, but the first thing that I saw was Android. Is that what's going on? Yeah. You're playing an ad. The X right there. So what they decided to do, the first thing that I saw was that they are going to allow third-party keyboards. The first keyboard keyboard company or whatever you want to say, tech company that's going to be partnering with third-party keyboards is SwiftKey.
Yes.
Absolutely love SwiftKey. iOS8 is going to be able to have swipe. That is awesome. I'm so glad that they decided to drop the lawsuits because
I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
I mean, to put it in perspective, I know that I remember hearing that on iOS you had to, if you used a third-party keyboard, you had to copy and paste what you typed into the Apple keyboard into their keyboard, or you would open their app, you would type in their app, and then copy and paste it onto your actual message. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Yeah. So no.
So this is the Tech Radar website. What we're looking at here, iOS 8. So they're going to be doing that. What's some more features that are going to be doing? Oh, integrated iMessage. This is something that Google has been, I guess they're on the road to do. They want to do integrated with voice and Hangouts, but pretty much iMessage has already said it with Apple, and they've said, hey, we're going to do this, and it's going to be cross-platform, or not cross-platform, I'm sorry, within Apple devices, within the iOS8 devices like iPad, the Air, 5Cs, 5Ss. They're going to be able to. You can answer a call on your computer, so and you can get your messages on your computer. I think that's what Google's trying to get at in this situation, but iOS they got there first. Apple got there first. So, I mean, as you can see there on the left side of the screen, they're kind of showing a call. You're receiving a call, but if you're on your computer, you can answer that call, which is quite amazing. They look like they're on point. So, I will say I am an Android fan, but I will be blogging about this, and I may actually get to the point where I think I am going to get an Apple device this summer.
As you see what I just did by accident on my Apple device with this multi-touch mouse.
Oh, yeah. We're using a Mac right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, which I still love because that's a feature that I think they have on some of the new Windows machines, but they're evil. Cool. So pretty much I do like being able to scroll without having to open up that screen. Like, for example, I have my Google Hangout screen open right now, but I have the mouse over right here. Oh, it disappears because it goes into the Hangout screen, see? But the main thing is that I can scroll up and down without leaving the screen on, which is so helpful if you're doing research or if you're just looking for information, or, I mean, if you're reading an article, and even something simple like, anything, it's just helpful. So all that said, we are really just grateful for it. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and I'll actually cover a little something while he takes a little break. But one beautiful thing that I saw, that is beautiful, meaning that to find out that something is possible, you feel pretty good about it. You really, well, to find out that the limits are not as limited as you imagined is comforting.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Where were you? Were we talking about? Oh, this article. I have no idea what's going on with it. You said you were going to explain this to me. Exactly. And we can all learn together out there.
Yes. Okay, dude. Okay. Hundreds of cities are wired with fiber, but telecom lobbying keeps it unused.
Oh, wow. That is, what is this, Vice?
Yes, it is Vice. Motherboard. Motherboard's a little...
There's a subsection.
Yeah, subsidiary or part of Vice. Okay. And you know what? This is one of the few times where I think reading it might be better than my little summary. I'll do the summary afterwards.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. It's well written. Thank you to Mr. Jason Cobbler. But in light of the ongoing net neutrality battle, many people have begun looking to Google and its promise of high-speed fiber as a potential saving grace from companies that want to create an internet fast lane. Just think of it exactly like that. You have to pay to get into the left lane. Think about it like that if you're on the road.
Wow.
All right. Well, the fact is, even without Google, many communities and cities throughout the country are already wired with fiber. They just don't let their residents use it.
Wow.
Think about that. Think about it. Every single government place that you could think of probably has high-speed internet. If you think about, look at their intranet.
That makes sense because actually, where my mom lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I listened to Twit as well, and they've mentioned it. But Chattanooga actually has some of the fastest internet in the country, and it's through the power company, which is really weird. It's through the power company, but they use they have gigabit internet, which is absolutely amazing. That is incredible, and they even have different signs that are up on the roads. You know, like you see a billboard. That's what they are. You'll see a billboard, and they talk about thank you, Chattanooga, for allowing us to have the fastest internet in the country. And they are actually the speeds are kind of compared to Google Fiber. I wish I had some Google Fiber here where we are right now. So gigabit internet speeds in a country town, nice town. I love the town. Riverbend is going on right now. Shout out to the Chattanoogians.
Riverbend.
Yeah, Riverbend. They do. It's a sidetrack. It's a festival with. It's a week-long festival, and what they do is they invite all kinds of artists and singers to come. Like people like J Moss have come, Montel Jordan, you know, just like, and they have a big stage. The big stage is called the Coca-Cola stage, and what they do on that stage is absolutely amazing. I've seen, who else have I seen there? Leonard Skinner came there once, and you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, not that I listen to Leonard Skinner, and I know their songs, Free Bird, but so yeah, but they have gigabit internet speeds.
Wow.
My mom had no idea what that meant when she saw the billboard. She was like, what is I told her about it, and I was like, you guys have the fastest internet in the country. She's like, I saw that. I didn't understand that.
But when you have it, it's like if you're in South Korea and you move to the United States thinking that you're going to get something better.
Nope.
Like, so, that must be the ultimate disappointment.
A big, you know,
that is,
PE. You're going to get slow speeds, like the fastest normal was it 30 something down, or if you decide to get Quantum or Fios, and you may be able to get like 70 down or something like that.
If available in your area.
Sorry, but sidetrack. You can get back to that.
That was very, very helpful, because that was exactly what the article was talking about.
Oh, it was? Okay.
I had no idea. Well, maybe
Let's
not
go
be
back
through
to
the
this.
power company, but in this case, it would literally be through. Well, let me read the second paragraph, because it says why the residents are not allowed to use it. Now, quoting back to Mr. Jason Kobler, yes, the reasons vary by city, but in many cases, the reasons you can't get gigabit internet speeds without the threat of that service being provided by a company that wants to discriminate against certain types of traffic, a la Comcast slowing down my Netflix and making it buffer for no freaking reason.
Verizon.
Yes, is because of the giant telecom businesses that want to kill net neutrality in the first place.
Oh my goodness, net neutrality. We can get on a whole subject of that, but anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's necessary. We gotta buffer this because it just makes you angry the further you read. Throughout the country, companies like Comcast, Time Warner Cable, CenturyLink, and Verizon have signed agreements with cities that prohibit local governments from becoming internet service providers.
Wow.
And prohibit municipalities from selling or leasing their fiber to local startups who would compete with these huge corporations.
Okay, can we stop right there for a second?
Yes.
This is something that I want to happen is that our local governments, let's say you know, your county or whoever, to be able to lease these and provide their own internet service. What they want to do is to monopolize all of the fiber. That is not okay with me. I don't think that would be okay with anybody. Let's say we're doing this podcast right now.
Absolutely.
And we would want to have, you know, equal access to the internet, or equal access to being able to, if you want to get to our website, or you want to get to our blog, or you want to get to our YouTube channel, that, you know, other stuff wouldn't come up that decided to say, hey, we have this money to be able to pay you so our websites are faster. I am not okay with that. It kind of makes me mad.
Well, it's a complete representation of what's happened in so many other parts of government. I mean, the first time I found out that if you have points on your license, you can just pay to have them removed.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Pay to have positive points on your license. That's a direct government influence of money. Like, you can pay to have something better happen to you in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, or it's just not. And I take that back. It makes sense if money is the most.
If money is involved, right?
Yes. So I'm not so ignorant, but excuse me, it is absolutely to filter that into the internet, which has been the most powerful thing over the last decade. We now know these things, and we have no reason to not allow. this to start.
Mm-hmm. The problem that I see with this is the fact that we only have maybe 5 companies that we could pick from in the United States.
And 2 are about to join.
Yeah, 2 are about to join. That's correct.
Comcast,
we have
Time
AT&T, Time Warner, Verizon, Comcast, and
that's it for them.
that's all I can think of.
That is it. Oh my
So you can go back to the article there. Cool, but that is insane.
Absolutely. And here's what I think they're going to force to happen, and I don't know if they've really considered it. If they continue to go this route, if they really continue to go this route, what's going to happen is we're gonna create standalone instant internet.
That is so true. Yeah.
If you're going to have hotspots coming up that will span miles, that will create instant internets. If you take down the ability for the internet to be free, we will create our own. That's how it happens every time. They can try to infiltrate Wall Street. What was that? What's the name of that?
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, the Wolf of Wall Street, but the movement that just happened, to end Wall Street's corruption.
Oh, Occupy
Wall
Street. Yeah.
Yes, that has led to the wave of action for just reasons like this. Structurally, it is moving toward what benefits the companies most. The companies legally are now people, but they're people with resources that individuals do not have. They're essentially
and resources as in AKA money.
Well, what they're saying is that if a superhero comes up and he can create money, that's legal because he's an entity, so he has full protection for everything. So if he wants to buy a city, if he wants to do whatever, if he wants to buy the governing bodies, it's okay because he's a person. He can create it as a superpower. If he wants to create electricity, that means that he can create a business around him to just create electricity, and that will be legal. And
that makes me want to do some research on Nikola Tesla. That's all I gotta say.
We'll have an episode. We'll talk about it because I think that's a good idea.
Cool.
Because
I'll write it down somewhere.
We know that at one point he was an employee of Thomas Edison.
I think he was going to make free energy. Yeah, I don't know if they wanted that to happen.
He was very specific in his own writings that was his goal. So what happened?
I don't know.
Okay, but that's what we're going towards. You can go this route, but you're making corruption key, and that won't fly for long.
We can get into a whole subject about that with lobbying and money in the government and.
Throw it again. Wolfpack, WOLF-PAC.com. A wonderful Genk Yeager.
I cannot pronounce his name because his name does not look like it's spelled, or it's not said how it's spelled.
Yes, but I tried to practice it one time. so I'm kind of mad I don't fully remember, but Genk Yeager from the Young Turks.
It's spelled like King.
Yeah.
Something weird. Young Turks. Check them out.
Absolutely. And just pretty much it's something to take money out of politics, and they've already had one successful state, which was said to be impossible.
Oh, wow.
So Vermont. They passed it, taking money out of politics.
And
it takes, I think, over 51% of the states or 2/3 of the states to ratify changes in government it's a system built into the Constitution for when government becomes too corrupt.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, so it is completely within the structure of what the Constitution is made to do, and that's to protect the people. The government is supposed to be an arm of the people, to protect them, to do things that individuals can't do that we can do in communities. It's supposed to direct that.
Okay.
That's what it's made to do.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. All that said.
Anything else you want to share about that?
No, absolutely not, because the next couple of things we're going to talk about is only going to get me happy. that is
all right. Let's go. Let's talk about some more happy things. We like to end things with happy things or something that could be. I don't know.
Let's talk about this first.
Controversial.
Let's jump into this first.
I agree.
Good call. Okay.
I agree. Good call. Yeah.
All right. Now, this has.
Sorry about that noise. Whatever that is, we apologize for that. If that's been going on the whole podcast, but like wow. So I don't know.
I figured it out. That's my phone. That's my brother. I should just call him on the Google Hangout.
Yeah, you should. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm not gonna start a sneak podcast.
Yeah, just throw him in.
Hey, everybody's watching.
Right? Yeah. You're calling. Everybody's in.
Yes. But yeah, he's coming back in. I think.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
Nope.
My little bottle cap.
He's trying to set up. We have different angles, and we're just trying to practice with getting different angles. So sorry about all of the weird stuff that could be going on right now. So yeah, the next thing we want to talk about is the Oculus Rift. I don't know if anybody's heard about it. If you haven't, where's that rock you've been living under? So the Oculus Rift is it's a pair of I guess it looks like ski goggles really. It looks like a pair of ski goggles that you'd be able to put on, and it pretty much encompasses the world that's around you. So yeah, you can go ahead and talk about this. Go for it, man.
Well, the first thing that stands out to me about this is just the utilization of technology, which the military has always.
And we're taking a look at VentureBeat right now.
Yes. And the first, abbreviation that you see is DARPA. So, I mean, you know that the government stays on top of using high technology.
And if you don't know what DARPA stands for, it's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Advanced research projects. Think about that. So, absolutely, it's their goal to be technologically ahead of all of their issues. Yeah, I was going to try to figure it out. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to get you in there.
Yeah, I'm wondering where's he been pointing, honestly.
I have no idea.
Where's there something white? Did I wipe it or something? Fire.
Yeah, sorry.
But the main thing is that they're utilizing technology to better train their troops, is how you interpret it, really, because how they say it in this article seems to be a little different.
Well, they equate it to James Bond's Q for the U.S. Department of Defense. The gadgets.
And it's, they're actually, this is interesting. Looking at this other, I have an illustration in my head now about what they mean by this. What they're doing is, all right, let me look at this exact spot. All right. The idea is to give military hackers one interface that they can use to block malicious network intrusions as well as stage attacks of their own. So it's almost as though they're saying this is an augmented reality where they are physically in the space where the attack is coming
where they would actually have combat or something. Because the next sentence says, armed with a head-mounted display, DARPA has its cyber combatants navigating the three-dimensional space using a pair of motion-sensing controllers, which is pretty much the motion-sensing controllers would be the actual Oculus Rift that's on your face. That whole thing
maybe even a tactile, like a hand interaction. Instead of just looking around, moving forward, walking and things.
Right. Yeah. They can look around. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do mention in this that they do use the Omni. I'll see where it is. The Omni is a It's a fully three-dimensional. Well, it's a omnidimensional treadmill.
If you can think about, if you can imagine when you would do not Oculus Rift. Oh my goodness. When you would do virtual reality back in like the 90s or something, they would put you in this kind of like circle type thing, and you would kind of move around and walk around. But the Omni, it allows you to be able to walk in your environment, and the Oculus Rift allows you to see your environment in a three-dimensional space. You can look left, right, up, down, backwards. You can turn around, and you can see your whole environment and walk into it. So yeah, I've had an idea of what to do with the Oculus Rift and the Omni. So
absolutely. Well, what's your idea? I mean, we have military use, but
my idea, I've talked to you about it. Don't take this idea. My idea about this is that I've thought about doing getting together with excuse me, getting together with the makers of Call of Duty, the Call of Duty franchises, Battlefield, that type of thing, and making a 21st century arcade using like PS4s or Xbox Ones. We could take or PS4s, Sony PS4s, so that we could use the Omni and the Oculus Rift hooked up to like a PS4 and have an environment where people can come in and play these games, kind of like they were pointing and shooting at these things. Like I think that would be absolutely. That would be fun. That would be fun to me.
Absolutely.
And kind of,
about something like that.
21st century arcade, because back in the 80s, early 90s.
Go to a world. Imagine if you play like Skyrim.
Oh,
and you're
man,
walking
Skyrim.
around, casting spells.
Oh,
and,
man.
Fighting dragons and all of that. I mean,
if it could track your hands, that'd be cool. But the thing I know it could probably track is, like a controller with a gun or a sword, maybe something interesting.
I think what I would do is I would make gloves where it would be a physical manifestation where it was physically tracked and not just visually tracked. That way you had full use of your hands.
Cool, you're giving out free information to the internet there.
Hey, well, you're hearing it here first.
If someone was willing to help us fund this, we could come up with the ideas.
Absolutely.
We're
gonna get this 3D printer.
Yeah,
but
that'll be last.
Yes,
that's an exciting thing to talk about.
But what you would do is have just a set of a Velcro keypad where if you had put it on Velcro anywhere in your body, if you want to kind of treat it like if you're cute. So if you're in a different world or environment, Star Trek, like he would snap his fingers, or he had a couple guys that did like that. But just do a motion. So if you want to do like that to say, all right, now I'm going to activate this spell. You can have it tracked as well as use text to.
Well, the reason why I said Xbox One is because of the Kinect. It knows when you're in a room. It's voice activated. It knows who you are, can log you in as yourself, and you can do all of those movements. That's why I said the Xbox One. So I would rather PS4 have that type of stuff.
I think that
Xbox One could work too.
Yeah, I'm only worried about the limitations of processing. And
well, they both pretty much have the same kind of. They pretty much have the same equipment.
Right,
so
but a third of the technology in the Xbox One is used to support the Kinect.
Gotcha.
So even though
they just recently came out with a
non-Kinect.
An Xbox One without a Kinect that was $399 that can compete with the PS4. Although I think they're too late in trying to do something like that, and it
kind of feels like they shafted the developers because they promised it from the beginning for the entire lifetime, and there are games now that people are going to buy the system and just not be able to play.
And not be able to work
Kinect only.
It has to use a Kinect. Yeah.
They've ostracized developers, which is what Sony actually did with the cell processor and with the PS2 a little bit, and also the multi-core processors with the PS3, which they threw a fuss about it then because of the extra development time importing something from something like a 360 that was computer-based, like desktop-based, and then transposing that over to the PS3 was difficult for them. It took more time, and I understand. I have a lot more respect for it now, seeing that these games that are coming out are looking top-notch, and for it to be so early in the cycle of this new console generation, it's very interesting for them to be able to pull it out so quick. And it's almost scary because if they're starting there, that means that what can't they do? We'll figure out what that noise is. It's hilarious. But it absolutely is a whole new type of... It's a new era. It's a completely new era of technology and utilization. So it's going to happen. New technology is going to advance, and the main thing is that if games are looking so good now at the generation just starting, in a couple years, you're going to have an insanely wonderful video game.
That's the thing about the new consoles is that usually it takes about a year or two for like the new systems to get up to par with what their hardware can handle.
Absolutely.
Like I have a PS3. I absolutely love it. And towards the last 2 or 3 years of the PlayStation 3 before the PlayStation 4 came out, the games are looking absolutely beautiful. Uncharted. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
The UI was slim. It was minimal, and it filled the screen with just beautiful background, beautiful play, beautiful gameplay.
God of War in the environment.
God of War. God of War was amazing.
You're fighting an enemy that is a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It was larger than a mountain.
Or if you were
dynamic environment.
or you had to climb onto your enemy or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Another game that I can think of, LA Noire. I don't know if you ever played that.
Yes.
The facial recognition of that was incredible. Another one that I would say is Two Souls. Right? Beyond Two Souls.
Yes,
Beyond Two Souls. That was really cool. The motion capturing and
motion capture. That's all I can think of. There's a guest on
motion capture.
Yeah, on Joe Rogan Experience, where I was just like motion capture.
JRE.
Motion capture every time.
It's something we listen to all the time. JRE, Dan Carlin, we listen to all this. But
yes.
But it's going to take a couple of years, but I think they will be able to harness the hardware power that they actually have in those the next gen consoles. Because I look at them now and they look great. And I want to play it.
Well, what's interesting that just came to mind that is interesting is that I think that if this generation of the bigger systems, PS4 and even the Xbone, if they were to
Xbone?
Xbox One.
Oh, Xbone. Xbone.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm a little slower here.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
What'd that sound like?
I have no idea.
I'll be back.
Okay. The next generation of the video games they seem like they're going to be really cool. I want a PS4. I played the Xbox One, and the controller seems smaller. It seems more ergonomic in my hands, and I would use that. I want a TV that can handle the graphics. That's most what seems to be most important to me is being able to use a TV that can harness and utilize the graphics that hardware is pushing out. So just like Sony made it a TV for the PS3 for 3D gaming, I hope they would do something the same or something similar to that with the PS4, and I would just use that. And same thing that goes for Xbox One, but I don't know. I've never seen a Microsoft TV. Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Just slam closed.
Okay.
That window open.
Okay.
What was I talking about before? Something about the generation.
Oh, we were talking about the next generation with hardware.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. Something that came to mind was that what they're doing with the Wii U and adding that to the Wii. If they did that starting with something like a PS4, that would be. I think I'm a big fan of what they did with even the old Genesis, where they had the
Sega CD.
The Sega CD, the
Sega Dreamcast.
Well,
that was a game system that was way ahead of its time.
Absolutely, but what I was going to say was it's what you. There were some games you had like Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay.
It was a base that you put into the Genesis that you put another game on top, and it had other functionality.
Gotcha.
So it's what the Wii U is. It's a tablet that they've connected to the Wii that allows different things and new.
Find out how to connect the Oculus Rift to a PS4. Just figure that out for me. If somebody can do it, I know.
A super peripheral. Make a new genre for it, because something like that could be amazing.
That's like Virtual Boy for the 21st century.
Oh, gosh. They probably hate that we equated to that, but I'm using the same sentence.
Virtual Boy, all the red. Did you ever play a Virtual Boy?
Yes, I did.
The red, just the red, that made me feel weird.
It was
odd.
It was a lot. But something like that, which, it could it could keep this product cycle incredibly long, and that's somewhat what they're doing with bringing the
product
functionality
cycle.
across the Vita.
Thinking about the product cycle, how long did the PS3 stay in commission for? It's still in commission. Not that it's out.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was like 7 years, maybe.
So, yeah, at least 7.
Something like that.
I'm trying to think. It was 2006, 2007 when it came out.
Wow.
So
it's been in for a while.
It's 8 years almost, maybe around there. But excuse me, just what you can do with technology is amazing. That's kind of what we do.
Sorry to get stuck there. We both like video game systems. We both are a fan of the Sony's, Sony systems, Sony TVs. They know how to make their stuff. So
absolutely,
let's get happy.
Well, one connection to one connection that goes into the next topic that I was just thinking of is that if you have what they're trying to do with some of these Disney games or some of these games where you buy the action figure and then you have that character inside of the game. And
what was that game called, man?
There was
sorry to ask that question.
But it's that's what I mean though. No, that's something that's interesting, being able to make the connection between the physical nature of reality and the video game. But all that said, we're back on 3D printers.
3D printers.
Yes. So what we're looking at is essentially, well, before we go to what we're looking at, if you could create your own character in a 3D model and then create it in a game, that's similar to what you could do with anything.
It's showing that screen there.
What?
It's showing show notes.
It is? Oh, I must have chosen the wrong one.
Oops.
Whoops. Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? I'm looking at this other screen.
Sorry, you got to see the show notes there. It's a little,
That's a little different. Yeah.
Hey, we organize it though.
We try. But okay, sorry if you did not want this necessarily publicized, but this is a wonderful Craigslist ad here in the Richmond area.
Richmond area,
Craigslist.
VARVA. That's where we are.
What we're looking at is essentially a 3D printer, and it looks to have been created by a local gentleman.
We won't say your name or anything like that. Just stay down. Stay down in this area.
Oh, okay. That's the end of the title because we had it up there.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, pretty much, it looks amazing. It's a 3D printer, and the reason they're selling it is because they want to make a larger one. So
you have to show the things that they've made with this.
Oh yeah.
I would assume that it's been made. There's an iPhone case. There's a lamp. That looks pretty cool. A minion.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And an iPhone case. Looks like an iPhone 4 or something like that. 4S. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah,
yes.
Go ahead, continue.
So
I'm sorry. You know more about 3D printers than I do.
Well, it's because if I wasn't saving up for a vehicle, I would get one. Oh my gosh, I will save up for one at the same time, but my gosh, this is amazing.
This person, we don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady, could be a gentleman or a lady, I would say maybe a gentleman, but they made this 3D printer. Looks like themselves when you go down into the comments or the description section. But it's a 3D printer, and I would love to have it.
Yes, one goal that I will have for this whole CastApod network, just if we were to make our own cups, if we were to make our own anything.
Yeah, because right now I'm using a hologram cup right now. But
yes, with
the Thor, but the god of thunder.
Yes. Yes, son of Odin.
There you go.
Yes.
He's a little bit more nerdier than I am.
Yes. Yes. Accurate. But it absolutely is we will make things using the 3D printer. I mean,
we will make things.
It's weird. That's the point.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yes.
He made a lamp. Okay, let's put it like this. Just the
CastApod lamp.
He made a lamp. He made a minion from whatever movie that is, Despicable Me, and he made an iPhone case. Three of the most random things, but they are practical. Imagine if, let's say, you have kids out there and you want to make toys for your kids. You can make a toy. You can make a toy for your children. You will not have to go to a big box store. You will not have to go to the cement walls. You will not have to go to the concrete walls. But you can make a toy for your children. Just simple things like that. You can make something useful for yourself. I don't even know. I can't even think of anything because the possibilities are endless, just depending on how big your 3D printer is.
And that's the point. And even I don't even see that as a real limitation, because if you use certain type of like Lego structure, you could create something using the smaller scale that builds larger.
That's out of my mind. That is like, that's outside of the realm of my hair. A 3D printer. Wow. Just the
yes. Technically I can make a house. You know?
You could 3D print a house if you wanted. You could print everything you wanted to for your house, your walls, everything.
Yes.
Just depends on the material.
We could 3D print a boom.
Yep. A boom mic.
Yes. You know, make it a twist. You know, have the pole, twist pieces to actually build the actual expanse. I mean, it's awesome. Anyway, so yes.
Sorry, we can easily nerd out on that.
Yes, and we were just talking about.
Because you can make whatever you want to. You can make your own pens. You can make your own pencils and stick something inside it. You can make your own replacement parts for your lamp. You can make it.
It's
endless. It's endless. The limit is to the moon, to Mars.
Yes. So I want to learn 3D printers, and I'm going to use them.
If a company wants to give us one so that we can show it off, please do.
You have no idea the limits of my learning capability.
We'll make our own forks and I will make my own forks and spoons for at home. If you let me do that, I will print everything that I need.
Yes. You know, we could do like a theme. We could do like camping equipment. We could 3D print like a whole camping.
As long as it doesn't melt, whatever that.
The actual
ink.
We'll have to see the temperature gauge.
I call it ink. I call the stuff that 3D printers use to print out stuff. I call it ink.
Yeah. Plastic ink is essentially what it is. I mean, because most of the 3D printers nowadays, they are two printers put together that cover a two-dimensional space that can cover the three-dimensional plane that you're looking down onto. So I think it's reasonable. And I mean, imagine if you get. There's so much you could do.
The more and more we talk about this, the more and more I want a 3D printer. The more and more I want a 3D printer.
You know what? We're gonna try to contact this guy.
We'll talk. We will talk to you, Craigslist person in Richmond.
Even if he's already sold it or if we missed out, we're gonna try to talk to him, maybe interview him, but we're gonna see what we can do because it's exciting. And if we're going to dedicate ourselves to a direction in technology, that's pretty universal. I mean, we can make new cases for laptops.
We can make cases for your computer. We can make a case for your phone. We can make a case for.
Yeah, I'm like looking around. I mean, what?
Anything.
Wow.
The possibilities are endless. It would make my mind go absolutely crazy trying to think of stuff that I could use it for. So.
Imagine if they had a 3D printer fast enough to print in glass. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, the limit is the heat that could handle the heat, and then would be able to
withstand structure.
It had to be like fast before it like got cooled down. You know, it's just like glass blowing. Oh, I'm not trying to destroy an industry, but I mean, if you could get a 3D printer fast enough, you could have a ceramic glass that was like crystalline structured or something. Like you could be you could print in crystal, like
you know, print whatever you want to. You can print pretty much whatever you want to if you can do it slow enough, or it just depends on what you really want it to do.
But yes.
So hey, that was I would say that's our happy ending.
Absolutely. It's got us thinking. Hope we got you thinking too. It's exciting for us, without a doubt.
Thank you, and I want to thank you guys for so much. Out there for just tuning in to our little podcast, our little thing that we have going on. Thank you so much. You mean everything to us because we're not just doing this for ourselves, but we want to just be able to inform you, and we just want to be able to put what we think out there. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm Howard.
And I'm Willis. So thank you for stopping in.
Thank you for stopping in.
Have a great day.
Have a great day. Peace.